weeks ago, almost everyone in Ghana, especially women, were so happy that the Affirmative Action Bill has been passed. Most of us don't actually understand it. We just hear it's Affirmative Action Bill, and we don't even know, even after the bill has been passed, there is so much work to be done to actually help the implementation to be very accurate and effective. Today, we want to have a conversation with Hajia Alima Sajito Said. She's the Executive Director for Sweda Ghana here in Tamale and belongs to so many consortiums. She knows so much about these Affirmative Action Bill and everything women empowerment, women development, either corporate women, women in the rural sector. If you ask of Hajia Alima in Northern Zone, everybody knows her. Let's take a break. When we are back, we start the conversation. Welcome back from the break. Hajia, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Martha and Spice.
You look amazing, as
Thank
always.
you.
Hajia, we are so happy. Affirmative Action Bill has been passed. How do you feel as a mother? You have been empowering us from God knows how many years now. And today, most of the work you have done, it's like you've seen the results. When you heard the news, how did you feel?
Thank you. And then I just want to appreciate the Martha and Spice Foundation for how far you've come in terms of delivering very good packages that are also aimed at empowering the young people, empowering women in general, empowering society for that matter. Today we are here for another very important session, and that is to discuss a very serious societal bill that has been passed in the interest of all of us, which is the Affirmative Action Bill. They call it the Gender Equality or Gender Equity Bill, whichever we accept. Whichever it is, we are good to go. In terms of how do I feel very, very happy that at the end of the day, we've arrived at a journey point where it becomes end, but at the same time, it becomes the starting point for the indicators of achievement. Affirmative action, we know, is an intentional strategy with the aim of bridging imbalances that have existed in society for a long time. So you are intentional about looking at those inequalities, those imbalances that affect the growth of particular gender, vulnerable groups in society. So at the end of the day, everybody lives peacefully and everybody's human rights is respected. Everybody take advantage of every opportunity that is given to the person to the fullest. So that is what the affirmative action that we went in was supposed to be achieving. 13 years down the lane. That's how far the fight started.
Wow.
Started very far, 13 years. So we are in the teen age of the journey. And just trying to make sure that society understands what the concept is and why we need this for several reasons: political reasons, international reasons, societal development, decision making, transformative growth. These are all a combination of reasons why that affirmative action was needed. And a group of women networks came together to put that into proposal and started fighting. And the reason also is because Ghana is a member of a lot of international conventions, treaties. We've signed them on, and even more importantly, the SDG goals, where the slogan is leaving no one behind. So if the slogan is leaving no one behind, and there are institutional structures,
that leaves traditions women behind.
that either for or against women, not being very representative. Not women, but some very intersectional groups also not being represented and always to be left behind. Just give very good reason why the affirmative action bill needed to be part of the process of a very intentional way of bridging that imbalances. So on the 27th of July, fortunately, Parliament decided that enough is enough. Let it go. After all amendments were done for the good reasons. So it was passed. It came with a very good surprise in terms of how it came, news, happiness. It's a combination of all to say that we have arrived. But there's also so much to be done in terms of getting people to understand the content of the bill and what the indicators of measuring progress are like. So that's how come we've come. Yes.
Great. So now that it has been passed, is there something that we have to do to make it very active? You know, most of us are happy about it. We don't know how it even began. we are only hearing people rejoice, so we are also helping them to rejoice. So now that it has been passed, what next for the woman?
Thank you. Now it has been passed with a lot of things to be done. It is designed to be very progressive. From where we stand, we cannot jump into the aim of the 50-50 agenda. So from now up to 2030, it has been progressively designed for us to reach the 50-50 point of equality. But for in the next 2 years, which is now into 2026, we are supposed to be having minimum of 30%.
In everywhere representation.
Public sector and private sector. 30% in governance, in economics, in every sphere of life that affects man and affects woman. We need to have 30%. That's the minimum. So in the next 2 years, that is progressively. Then another 2 years, we should be reaching like 2020. We should be achieving like 35% by graduation. Then when we reach 2030, we should have gotten 50%. So at least there's been intentionality in the graduation.
5 to 6 years to achieve that.
Just to make it very progressive and give institutions time to revive their policies, give people time to understand and demand accountability. Now, so that is how it has been graduated. So it comes along with a lot of demands. There are a lot of committees that are going to be set up for them to monitor. It comes along with the fact that there's a lot of need for gender disaggregated data because facts will speak to the issues. Well, we are saying that currently the local government sector, if you look at in terms of women in leadership, it's about 14%. Local government. Given the fact that Ghana runs the decentralization concept, what it means is that we have only 14%, 14 out of 100 at each stage that are making decisions.
Wow.
That's
out of 100, just 14.
14. So that's 14% of women representation at the local government level. Now, if you take parliament, I think we are just also about 14.7, 14.5, thereabout. So in totality, when you take women in leadership and in decision making, it's very low.
Very.
Very, very low. It's not up to 15% if you put the two together. So it calls for worry that women, so in that case, decisions don't bring diversity. There's no inclusivity in it. Do you get
And
it?
it's one-sided.
It becomes one-sided.
So
the aim of the policy is supposed to graduate us into the stage where we are bringing that diversity in thinking to it. So gradually we get a 50-50, so that at each point, whether a governmental appointment, state appointment, institution, wherever, we should be able to reach a state by 2030 where we are having 50% of male and female making decisions that affect male and female in society.
Wow. Now, what does it mean to the rural woman? We are looking at people in, let me say, learned women to be in, but to the rural, I remember on International Women's Day, the team went out to talk about the day, and most rural women didn't even know what International Women's Day meant. And it's like most times we leave them behind. So this bill, how can they come on board, or what can we, those who are learned, do to pull them on board?
Yes, so that's a very good, there are a lot of days that have been earmarked for women, and we are not aware. It is nobody's fault that they are not aware. Either those of us who are supposed to be representing them have not also got enough resources to get down to them, to be able to get it. And you know that globally, in terms of funding for women is very low. They're like women's rights organizations don't get up to even 10% of the money in the system. And so anything that affects us, and we know how it affects us, we are supposed to be sending the message. So if we have days like International Women's Day, you have International Rural Women's Day, then you have International Day of the Girl Child, the Day of the African Child, the Anti-Corruption Day, the UN Day on the Environment, desertification. All these directly affect women that we should be aware. But we are not.
Yeah, we are not.
It's those of us in the space that are aware, but we are not also able to reach all at a goal. So it's really a problem. Now, for this affirmative action, I think that the thinking is also for all this group of people that, look, it is important that this bill, they are aware of what is happening, because a lot of them are living in the condition they are living because of social norm, traditions, that do not make them very much exposed to the realities. So we need to be able to work around the social norms, traditions, work with the community gatekeepers to understand it, and now move along with the women to be able to participate fully. The rural woman is at the point of advantage, because now we are going to be very deliberate about making policies, making investments that directly affect them. And relieve them of some stress. Because this issue of PAD, like for girls, this issue of probably some strategic needs of women, whether rural or urban, this policy, this affirmative action bill may take care of a lot of them.
We are hoping that the taxes on our part are scrapped.
And that means that it releases a lot, relieves a lot of the women that stress at the rural area. And then also there's more investment in things that will uplift them. So the issue of the equity, so that if all of us are supposed to have access to education, it's a right. So when you look at the bill in terms of education, it's supposed to make sure that access and opportunities are fully respected, fully taken advantage by both men and female. Then now to implement it, you now bring the issues of equity. If they are all supposed to do, what will prevent the girl from accessing as the boy will access? You get it? So at that level, the rural woman child, that she may have to be able to be looking for resources to support, maybe the state, because of that policy, will have to make room for that, so that it releases the woman, and the girl child also take advantage of that opportunity fully. You get it? Those of us too who are working mothers, at least the law will make sure that all of us have opportunities to develop to our fullest as professionals. What are the issues within the work environment that need to be taken care of? That will allow me to also fully save some time for myself and attend the training, participate in the training, enjoy the training, and then be able to also professionally grow. So if it has to do with making room for like daycare around
Yeah.
this
at
thing,
the
having
work-
baby
Yes.
bays for children, that when they come, they're able to, I mean, it's
Yeah,
supposed
it
to
can
come on.
help,
So
yes.
all those things are supposed to help the woman to be more professional and effective in whatever they are doing. Now, you also have instances where the law says that, like in the area of access for, let's say, physically disabled people. So all these equity issues will have to be looked at to say that, look, are the access issues being promoted?
Yeah.
Are the equity issues being promoted? What are the gaps that need to be filled so that we can now all raise everybody to the level where we can all enjoy the equality? You get it? So it's a very good bill.
Yeah.
And then they've taken their time. They've even set up committees. You know, there are going to be committees to be monitoring what is happening.
Like tracking the progress and
tracking
even
the
reporting so that we know that it
Yes.
wasn't a bill that was just passed,
Thank
but
you.
there was
There-
progress.
So
on it.
there's a lot of thinking through that has gone through the bill. And for that matter, it is a bill that all of us in the space must understand and translate it into the little
Yeah.
smallest bit that anybody
Can
anywhere can
understand.
understand. So we need our rural women to understand that this bill is not against them, it's rather for them,
Yeah.
so that they don't allow people to say that they brought a bill that will make you not to be able to be a woman, but they will rather be able to also justify what that bill
or empower women to respect their husband. I mean, to disrespect their husbands.
And you know,
all
when
that.
people are coming from that angle, you get
Yes.
some women buying into it.
Yes.
So when you get them buying into it, so you get them, so you see that people that may not be understanding the bill may use that, mobilize those groups and be fighting a bill that rather is for their interest. So we need to simplify it as much as possible. Those of us in the space to get a lot of the women to believe in the bill and know that it is there for their common good and for the society and the children that they want to raise. They will do it with all the happiness and the ease of it, with less stress, because the state are putting measures to make sure that institutions, whether private or public, do what is right for everybody that find yourself within a space, whether it's an employment situation, educational institution. Your gender should not matter. Thank you.
Let's look at men. How can men support this bill? Maybe men in leadership positions. So if you are working at a place that your boss is a man, how do they also understand that, hey, the fact that I'm giving 50-50 doesn't mean that they are coming to rub shoulders with the other men? But how can they support the bill? And how can they also create these avenues for more women to be in those positions?
Yeah, that's fine. So for men, I can say that the men have already supported the bill because it was passed from there. And then if you look at numbers, at least they are more. So it also just tell us that the men that are representing us in parliament are supporting it. They believe in it. They know that that's the right thing they need to do, and they have chosen to go the right way. So we appreciate that so much. And we also know that there are a lot of male champions in the system now that believe in the cause of women. And they're working with them, through them. We should be able to get more men supporting it. Because it is the woman, the human resource is produced by the women. Is that not it? So they are just making a bill to have a better human resource base for Ghana. Yes.
True.
Because if you have more women very appreciative of themselves, confident enough, the space is conducive, we'll get more of them educated. They will give us the educated children. They will train the human resource that we need. Because the societal training is as important as the academic training. They move together.
True.
So to get the two together means that we'll have human resources that we will always be proud of. You get it? So men are already on it. They are on board. And they will support it. I don't believe that reading the bill, any man will be against it. It is as friendly as it should be. It's taking cognizance of all our values, our traditions, what our religious dictates says. They've taken cognizance of all that and putting it together. So it is workable, it is feasible, it is friendly.
Looking at our parliament, I've had some conversations or we know some countries whereby women are actually appointed into parliament. They are not voted in based on what they do. So like I gave you an example, if we want the gender minister, and we can trust someone, there are so many women we can look up to. If we can just say, oh, Hajia Lima is there for us. You don't need to belong to a political party to be able to get there. So with this affirmative action bill, is it a possibility whereby you think that we'll get there at a point, maybe not into parliament, but in vital positions up there, that we will not look at politics or religion or whatever, but put qualified women in those positions to make sure that those decisions, or let me say, the issues we want dissolved, so that by 2030, we actually reach that 50-50 goal?
Yeah, I think that that is one strategic way of getting there. Because, you know, the politics, if we want to go by election, we may not get a lot of women, one, because of cost. We don't have money.
Yes.
Our economic situation is not
Yes.
much helping a lot of us to go into the election. So, but if the law says that bring 30, you will look for the 30.
We will.
You will.
We will.
So that
We'll
is where
them.
people will now open up.
Yeah.
And it will now, the way our system is politicized, I'm foreseeing this bill probably be solving that problem, where people will now go outside their own territory and look for the people.
Yeah.
And even if it is within their territory, they will now be ready to invest in those women to bring them to the level that they think that they fit. People, look, everybody needs training. Everybody can be trained.
Yeah.
Everybody just needs to be supported and given the environment that is safe, that, look, you can do it and the person will do it. So we'll reach there. And that is what it's supposed to do. Now, if you look at the bill, you know, it has mentioned some particular state institutions that are supposed to be very much there. You see that Electoral Commission is one. So when you are talking about political election, leadership there in that area.
It's true. I don't hear a lot of women there except the EC chair.
So you are looking at the Electoral Commission, making sure that if parties are presenting their list of candidates, they will be checking the percentage. You get it? They will be checking the percentage. NCC has a role there. Siraj has a role there. Each of them has been defined responsibility to make sure that this thing works. So the institutional framework is very straightforward. And you know, they also have a committee, and that committee will be managed from, I think, the gender ministry, if I'm not right. Will manage from the gender ministry, and all these people are supposed to be part of that committee to make sure that it's working. And you know what is also good about the bill, that they have an award, like as we are reporting, and they're also saying that as part of your reporting, annual reports, you're supposed to make gender statements there to be able to give updates on what your gender situation, gradually where you are reaching. You see that there's intentionality attached to the bill. That is not going to be work as usual, but it's going to be work that will give us the kind of new things we want to see.
Yes.
And then also, there will be awards for organizations, whether private or state, that are able
really
to
execute
the right way. There are awards for it. And then it also has what they call the gender budgeting.
Yes.
It's also there. And for me, I see it as a very important way of tracking progress also, because with gender budget, it means that everybody's budget, they are going to look at it and see, how are you fixing equity issues? That will lead to the gender equality we are talking about. If it's not there, they return you, but go and fix it. So when you put it there, then you have another institution that will be looking at, are you implementing it? Because you will give accountability in your report as how your figures stand. You get it? There's going to be data collection to speak to facts.
Hey, then this one, it's like a whole course on it, so making sure that once the question is asked, okay, how many men, how many women, what are the age gaps, what are the maybe religion or academic, it's like everything it's going to be played out.
Yes,
then I really hope we actually work on
it
very well.
Because there's also the international commitment part, because Ghana, like I said initially, we sign on to all. So the affirmative action bill also reposition us to look very good internationally. That we are getting there. True. We have signed on and we are ready to also commit our course of action to achieve the gender equality agenda that is globally the talk of town. So our position, sometimes we are not getting some of the things we need to get. It places us at a very bad position because we are not signed on to it. And there's also evidence. And that's why we think that men will buy into it, because there's evidence that in areas that have implemented, in countries that have done the affirmative action, there's a lot of progress because they have that diversity of purpose in thinking, in leadership, and in decision making. So they are moving faster in terms of their development, possibly. So now that we are there, there's all the indication that we also move faster when we are able to graduate, follow our timetable, monitor the way we agree to monitor, get our rural people buy into it, get our clergy very much interested in it, get our community leaders interested in it, everybody believe in it. There are no intimidations, no fear and panic.
Especially with our cultural leaders.
Yeah, but you see what is also good is that we have very dynamic cultural leaders, religious leaders. We have very dynamic chiefs now in the system. And you go to, like those of us who work directly in the community with chiefs, you go to talk to a chief and say, and before you even start, they tell you that they believe in women.
Wow.
Yes. They believe in women.
It's changing a bit from the olden times.
Yes. So we just need to work through those people that are thinking positive. And then we can get this bill. They will lead the agenda themselves. And then households will lead it. And then we'll get there.
Yeah. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
My name is Mohamed Samsi. I'm from Tinguri. Today we are at Beduri community with Martha Inspire Foundation and Plan Ghana. Today we learned a lot. We learned about menstrual hygiene. Then they taught us how to insect pad, how to remove pad, how to dispose the pad.
When you wear a sanitary pad, the long parts at the back prevent you from soiling the clothes you are wearing with blood, whether you have a heavy flow or a normal flow. So in an instance where the long one is in the front and the short one is at the back, you will end up soiling yourself. So when you open it, to the front parts, you have the short one. To the back parts, you have the long one.
We learn about how to change your pads when you are in your menstrual period. They taught us about how to speak in public and safeguarding. You need to protect yourself from harm. And some of the example of safeguarding is sex enforcement, allegation against staff, and grooming. And you've learned how to identify yourself. I want to say thank you to Plan Ghana, thank you to Martha Inspire Foundation. We are really grateful. Thank you.
So as the team says, maximizing your potentials, yes, you need to go through formal education to actually be fit for this work that you do. We might say that education is expensive now, but trust me, literally, illiteracy is more expensive.
My name is Marlon Egbedema, MNS. I work at the Tamale SDA Hospital, and I was very excited when we got here and saw that there were a lot of girls who came to learn from us, and the whole thing was very successful. I was very excited again when some of them actually listened and had questions to ask. Questions like when a girl is supposed to start her cycle, why some women don't have their menses, how long the menstrual cycle should last. And somebody asked me why they get their cycles twice in a month. And that shows that actually they came with a mindset to learn. All in all, it was a good time and it was exciting. I would like to thank Matter Inspires Foundation and Plan International for the opportunity. It was nice being here. So thank you to them.
My name is Mohamed Lambon. I'm from Buaini number 2. And then today we are here purposely for a Youth Empowerment Summit. What we've learned so far here, in fact, we are speechless because we can't just express it. Because we've learned a lot since Matter Inspires Foundation with Plan Ghana started with us. We started, that was in the January time, up to now, and we've learned about teenage pregnancy, drug abuse, early marriage, and many things. And Matter Inspires Foundation have helped and supported the majority of us, and then we've gotten that opportunity to speak even on air, and then sometimes TV discussion, just as the team was in the summit, maximizing our potentials. Through this, we've been able to maximize many of our potentials. In fact, Matter Inspires Foundation, it has helped us a lot to add up the drug abuse side. With Matter Inspires Foundation, we've learned that there are some certain drugs that we are taking, and then in taking of those drugs, you do abuse them because you don't take them as what the doctor has been prescribed by us to do. What Matter Inspires Foundation have donated to us, and even just today they've came with some donations. And then some of the participants of this program, in fact, they've enjoyed being in the program. And in fact, it's just amazing. Thank you, Matter Inspires Foundation. Thank you, Plan Ghana.
I want to thank Plan Ghana and Matter Inspires Foundation for your caring and your support. Thank you very much.
If you're going to do well in life, you must aspire to become skilled at something. Skilled at something. Don't just be an also-ran. Don't just be a practitioner. Somebody who does some. What do? I'm into marketing. And you are not an extraordinary marketer. You will not do very well in life. If you want to be successful, if you want to be great, if you want to make impact. And listen, these principles don't apply to just white-collar jobs only. It applies to every kind of job. The number one skill, the number one asset you need to do well in life is skill. Tell somebody skill.
So to be able to make it as a young person, what do you need to do? You have to stand out. Okay, so you have a skill. You have your degrees. How do you stand out? That for me is very important because your skill is going to take you somewhere. But what makes you unique? What will make someone charge 30 cedis to sew an outfit and one person charge 3,000, 4,000, 5,000? It's because the person is standing out. The person probably has a big brand. The person has some skills, something everybody is looking for, which makes that kind of designer better than the others. It means that person has identified a unique problem that people are looking for a solution to.
You have it now. Please take advantage of it. And when you come and you learn and there is change in you, pull somebody along. Pull somebody along. Continue to pull more people along. Because we are pulling you along.
also pull along, then we can get the transformation we are looking for.
The key theme for me is where we have started from and where we have come from does not matter, but it is the energy we put in, how we deal with adversities, and that's what makes a difference between a regular person and the person who stands out. And I focus on the destination. Always have a picture of where you want to go and push, keep pushing.
So if I am 10 years holding an organization, then it should tell you that you can do it. If I can, you too can. Let's say it, if I can, you too can. Tell your neighbor, I believe you've done something that your neighbor can also do. If I can, you too can.
We are trying very hard to change the existing status quo. The status quo that you are just a girl. The status quo that you are just a woman. Your place is in the kitchen. You are only supposed to be told, you are not supposed to say. We are trying to change that. And that change will never manifest well when we are doing it with only adults. We need that change with you.
As young people, the question now becomes, how do we inspire inclusion? How do we tell the elderly people? How do we tell the people in power? How do we tell the leadership that as young people we have so much to bring to the table, and so when they are thinking about national development narratives, they have to include us? Because if we don't do this, if we don't inspire our own inclusion, we will always be left out.
Welcome back from the break. I believe we are having a very detailed conversation. Most of us didn't even know that this 50-50 thing and then has to happen. We didn't know that by 2030 a lot of progress have to be made. We didn't know that we ourselves, even as citizens, need to even support these government institutions like she mentioned, EC, NCCE, to be able to achieve this. Because, for example, if the EC is asking me certain questions to help their data, they may not be able to tell me that I need it for this, but understanding this, it's really going to help. Let's talk a bit about Sweden and we'll come back. You'll be doing so much on rural women in agriculture. I'm seeing that Sweden is doing something on training women in vocational skills. And last weekend you graduated about 30 women. Yeah, I see that you are doing so much. Female mentor.
Academy.
How is that going to play a role? You see, you're already doing it, but now the bill has been passed. How is it going to impact your project?
Thank you. I think that we are doing all these things with the aim and the hope that this bill will be passed. So that they don't tell us that the bill is here, where are the women?
True. Yeah.
Yes.
So we have prepared for the bill.
So even in our rural settings, in the rural communities work that we do as an organization, like you said, you know, we have been very intentional about women's economic security because we believe that at the end of the day, the economics matter.
Yeah, it does.
So the economics of the woman places her in a very mentally stable state to do all the other things that we want them to do. We've been looking for women to be in leadership, to be in decision making. We've been getting them to be able to be participating at forums and contributing. They should and be heard.
Yeah.
But you also have to prepare the woman such that when they now say there's a meeting there, she should be able to fare herself. Yeah. So the economic is very, very important.
That can also reduce abuse because if she's empowered financially, economically.
Yes, yes. So we are doing all this, and then for where we operate in the northern sector, you know, a lot of our women, the economic sustainability, livelihoods are agric. So that's why we are one organization in the north here that do a lot of work on women in agriculture. Okay. We do it at policy level, we do it at community level, we engage chiefs, we work with them to get women land, we work to protect the forest for them, the forest and farm where they are livelihood, we work to protect it for them, we work to get them into resource management governance, so that they can determine and contribute to decisions that affect the environment that their livelihood depends on. We do a lot of work on women practical needs, which has to do with health, has to do with education, and it has to do with water and sanitation. Those are very important.
Very important.
So that you don't empower them economically and they transfer the monies into hospitals because the environment is not clean, there's no safe water. You do not also want to get them to do other businesses and they spend their round trip to look for water is like 1 hour, 2 hours. So what will be, so the productive time where people go to buy things, they're looking for water. You don't want that. So you do more of an integrated approach to the woman and the girl child. So that's why you see us virtually touching on everything. Somebody will say you are not focused, but then there's a focus on it. The focus is that we want the woman's economic security to be secured. Now, to do that, we are looking at all other things that can affect the woman. So that's why we virtually do everything. So, as an organization, that's what we do. So we have a lot of large tracts of land that we have women to access so that they can do a lot of the farming that they do. Then we also have women we support with input, smart farming methods. And then we also know that the environment is no more our friend. Climate is not a friend to anybody. So knowledge on how to be practical, adaptation, mitigation, they are very important. And these are knowledge-based, these are action-based. And this we are doing very well. And then also, as we do all this, we also want to say that the future needs to be brighter for women than it is now. So you want to go back and look at the girl child who is in the secondary school, who is in the basic school, going into secondary school, and now at the university. How do we get them prepared to be better than us? So that's why we entered into mentorship. So that we can bridge the gap. We are all rural people. We know our situation. Sometimes as a young person, a young lady, you don't even know who to talk to. Your issues are all with you. You have very good idea you want to change for yourself. Nobody is encouraging you. I mean, everybody around you probably does not understand you. They think that you are very complex. They think that you want too much.
You are asking for too
much. So that's why we said no. There's a gap of mentoring. So we look for mentors. We get these girls. Unfortunately, you have been one of the, I think, long-term mentors.
This is my 3rd year.
Oh, okay. Your first year you were not there, so this is your 3rd year.
And this has been my best year of
having
mentees. My first year, my mentees stressed me. 2nd year, they were better. But this year, my mentees, they are
for
amazing.
some reason, every mentor this year is happy.
Yes, my mentees are amazing. My
mentees, thank God. And we want to appreciate all of them. And all of you who have been part of this journey of transforming the lives of over 550 young girls through mentorship, and they are very happy. So the idea of that mentorship, if you see right from day one when we started, was aiming at this affirmative action. Every stage, if they will remember, anytime I'm during the orientation, when I'm engaging there, I tell them, you are being prepared for affirmative action.
Wow.
You are being prepared for the day the affirmative action will be passed, because we know it was going to be passed. It can't be there for life.
No.
And for 4 years, we have put this in their mind. Anywhere we met them, we told them. Prepare. It will come.
It will come.
The security services will need 30% in recruitment.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Health service will need 30% in recruitment.
I don't know if we've ever had a female IGP in the police service.
Yes.
We've had.
I think.
That was
deputy.
Yeah. That was a deputy.
So we told them the security forces will need 30%. Are you ready? Will you be ready? You should be ready. Academic institutions will need that. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Will you be ready? You should be ready.
And now we have a woman running for vice president.
Parliament will need that. Will you be ready?
Yeah.
All the public service institutions will need that. CEOs, we are preparing you for that gap. Thank God we reached there. And the girls, the academy is still running.
Yeah.
Yes. Just last week, we were in Accra for a close at the Plan Women's Voice and Leadership. And then I remember my last statement, I was assuring the donors that this our academy was ready.
Wow.
And the investment they've also put in all the women's rights organizations as a donor. We are ready.
Yeah.
We have prepared them. And the affirmative action, when it's passed, we will be ready.
We will be
so
ready.
when we just came out the next day that they passed it,
wow.
the lady called me and said, I said, like, you were a prophet. Yes, so that's the point. So we have prepared. So as an organization, we looked very far. We had a vision to be part of contributing to build the future leaders of Ghana, the female future leaders of Ghana. And we are proud of ourselves that we have prepared these young girls. And they are ready to take it.
And they are ready.
They will grow.
But
they will
your
take
influence, sometimes I look at it, and beyond the projects you run, you have an influence in building organizations.
Yes.
I met you in 2019, and every year I'm like, when I need something, I just have to go to Asia. Sometimes even indirectly, we learn from you. I follow you on Facebook, so sometimes when I'm just looking at something, okay, I'm learning this from Hajia, and it's like your influence is touching some of us, and as we're also touching more young people, it is beginning to grow and beginning to grow. So I sometimes like, God keep you. Because when I see you talk, I'm like, wow, you are very knowledgeable. I remember when I went to Germany, and then everybody wanted Hajia to be in their group for group work, because they were asking us some questions. They were like, hey, this one to where is it from? And I and Taya will be like, hey, Queen Taya, I said, come on, please bring Hajia to our group, because we know when you are in our group, it will be very easy for us. So I like the fact that you are very knowledgeable, and I think that is what you are teaching most of us, to read wide.
Right, yes.
Because if I have to go and stand somewhere to defend women's rights, I need to know all my data, all the things that are happening. I think it's really a good deal that you are doing this for. Not just Northern Hajia, you know that even Upper West, they know you.
They know you.
Upper East, Northeast. Hey! I think they have to just let 5 northern regions to be its own country. We won't vote. You are our president.
Thank God, mashallah.
Hajia, your final words.
My final words is to say that this bill has been passed, but it will not come. The implementation will not be without challenges.
Yeah.
There will be issue of data. That's where the citizens come in. We need to be able to be part of the process. There will be issue of people raising culture, raising tradition, values as a country. So all of us need to take our time as people, read it, especially the young people. This is your future.
Yeah.
As a young person, at this your age, it is your future. By 2020, you would have been in the right position to be leading. 2030, sorry. You would have been in the right position to be leading. So for me, I see young people taking this as a personal Bible or Quran for themselves, reading it every day, be convinced about the content of it, and help in the implementation. When those of us go back, who understand, when we go back to our communities, can we engage smaller women groups, smaller male groups, smaller, let's identify allies, work with our allies, and get them to the ground to implement this thing. It is not going to be easy for us, but I also see a lot of opportunities for us, and we don't need to allow this chance to go. We don't need people to say, it came, what did you do with it? It came. Were you there?
So much,
Thank you.
So much. Thank you so much, Hajia. We really appreciate your time. For me, I have learned a lot because you have delved in and even getting to know the state organization that are supposed to also work on this. It just opens up our minds. So I can walk to NCC and say, NCC, okay, maybe in the next 2 years, in your finance, what data do you have on this? So it will even help students who may want to do their project works on affirmative action bill. You know where to go for your data. Anyways, I want to say a very big thank you to Trillium for supporting the Reflection Show, and to Savannah Opticals for all your eye care needs. Get in touch with Savannah Opticals here in Tamale, and your eyes will be perfect like a newborn's eyes. Thank you so much. I've been speaking with Hajia Alima Sajito Said. This name, it can open doors. Her name alone can open doors.
Hey.
One day I'll tell you a story. Her appearance alone, Hajia, once she appears, the doors that could not open will be able to open.
Hey.
I'm Martha Inspires. Have a good night.
Thank you.